So the only problem with that
Have her like that. Oh, she's like her.
Testing.
Oh, I can see. I can see that. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, so yeah, too many
No, Maria. Yep.
Where's the computer? Is it connected? Reinsert it, make sure it's picking it up. I know gossiping like that on. I hear you.
So that's. That's funny, right? Because you never think about that, but.
Pull it out, pull it in again, just make sure. Read it. And does it play video?
Yes.
Am I real wrong? Oh, okay. Sure.
Hello. Ready?
What's this?
And you don't have a presentation.
No, okay. I was like, when you said I didn't do.
Okay, yeah, no. We just had to talk to them about that. What did you mean?
Just come up there.
Yeah. Does it pop up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that there's the cashier.
Yeah.
She had to believe they were joking about shit.
I'll take other stickers here.
And then next year, so I said, that's what I want to it needs to be like just because I got seal. I would find them to put on everything. Oh, so today I said, what else? I had already been sure that.
Are you?
And second of all, we need to choose the young areas. I didn't take care of it. It's not like
How's the sandwiches? What are they?
It's showing him like, yes,
Really? No, I'm not lying. 250 a trip.
You think they can? Because he's saying they're trying to get an angle, so that might need to be in the middle, but you make it.
Oh, is that one? Is it that the same size?
No. I think they're gonna. I don't know. You just saying as far as the camera wise.
It's not. Yeah, let me see. Okay.
You can't see that. Well, the girl, like, oh yeah, first husband was like,
Get a room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So they told us not to ask. This is pretty cool. So get us to say.
So yeah, that's so funny.
Well, probably the two with notes. Because the other guy has none.
We'll just move it this way. I can see enough to.
How you gonna do this? You can speak. We'll move the camera. That's it.
Natural mist. Thank you guys.
I enjoyed my childhood. So yes, yes. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna be going there. For sure.
Say it when I'm not doing this.
I don't know, because it's, I was alternative to not having to.
Yeah, I think it's really.
So where? Put it on my watch. We have enough to do it now.
Okay, with those two little screens.
Oh, you just
Can
turn
the
it off?
projector come up and down easily?
Yes, I can turn it off.
Yeah, just turn on.
Okay.
It could just be blank, yeah. I guess you could put his presentation back on so it's ready and just turn it off. Because the other two aren't using it.
Okay.
Just turn it off. You're welcome. It's here in a second. Sure.
Did you need to get it first?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Just wanted to look at it, make sure, because there's a slide that's giving me an interesting reaction here on my phone, but if it works, it works. If it works, it works, that's fine.
It's kind of like.
And you're in this ditch. Maria. Oh, what's your phone number? 1 second. 499.
Maria's right
Okay, I
there.
sent you a YouTube link.
That Maria?
Yes, I found her. I sent you the link for the streaming thing.
Give me some important dates for the like the DreamHour and all of that, just the music.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Well, right now. And then 160 there, that's on January 16th. It's fine when that's what we can do.
5 days around this.
Okay.
You could take concurrently.
Okay.
You could check the. In the panel series. It's not always Thursday. I credit, it's very specific.
Okay. Just say there is.
But yeah, be sure to call it.
Okay, okay.
And here's your mic.
Good evening, everyone. We will be starting here shortly so that we can introduce our speakers, and we definitely want to welcome you here tonight. All right, we'll be starting here the next 4 minutes.
Your seat's in the front. Yeah, I suppose. Go, sit there, let me look at that, something. Hi, Daniel, fun, nice to meet you. I think, because you could, yeah, it's there. Or yeah, you can sit there. So wherever you want. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I want to. Did you go see Jasmine Crockett? We just see her. Yes, I have to read, that's what she said.
No? Okay, fine. What do you need? You need to?
Oh, no.
No, not that one. Oh, there. No. Oh, okay, okay.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Dream Week 2026 Speaker Series. I am your MC tonight, Kim Anderson. I am a local educator here in San Antonio, as well as MC, host, and voice actor. All right, so we're gonna get started here. I want you guys to silence your phones as to not interrupt our speakers as they're here giving their presentations. All right, I also want to give you guys some reminders. When you do post anything with Dream Week, make sure you hashtag Revelations, because that is the theme for this year's Dream Week. Dream Week has now spanned into several weeks. It used to be a 1 or 2 weeks. Now it's to the end of the month. Started January the 9th all the way to January 31st. Remember to visit dreamweek.org for all the events going on in and around San Antonio. Over 200 events hosted in and around our city. We have important dates that I want you to make sure you make note of. Our awards luncheon will be on January the 16th. We have our Dream Ball, that was also known as our Mayor's Ball, that will be held on January the 30th. As well as our speaker series will be hosted here at the Hard Rock Cafe Monday through Thursday with a happy hour to follow from 5 to 8. And don't forget about our panel series. They are going on in and around San Antonio as well, Monday through Thursday, and you can visit dreamweek.org to buy your tickets and for more information. I want to also recognize our generous sponsor tonight, Community First Health Plan. They are the sponsors for our speaker series. All right, yeah, give it up for them. Awesome. So now, without further ado, I definitely want to ask you guys to focus in, because we have some great speakers here with some wonderful information. All right, so I want to introduce our first speaker tonight, Maria Hanigman. She is a Community First Health Plan honoree for over 30. All right, Maria Hanigman is a dedicated mental health advocate. She's a supporter and she's committed to empowering individuals and families on their mental health journey. She serves as the Director of Support, Outreach, and Bridges to Care San Antonio for NAMA Greater San Antonio. Since joining NAMA Greater San Antonio in 2022, she's overseen pre-crisis programs that provide mental health education, advocacy, and support to reduce stigma and prevent mental health crises. She also manages programs designed to assist individuals and families at various stages of their mental health journey. With over 20 years of experience in the mental health field, Maria is devoted to helping families find their voice and start important mental health conversations, particularly in our Latino and underserved communities. Maria really has enjoyed being boots on the ground and serving individuals and family directly, but she is grateful for the opportunity to help partner with organizations, build programs based on the needs of the communities, and to reach the most people as possible. Maria earned her Bachelor's of Arts in Sociology and a Master's of Art in Marriage and Family Therapy from St. Mary's University. She's married to her wonderful husband, Luke. He's also an educator like me. All right, you're educators, right? And they have 3 children, ages 16, 14, and 10, along with 2 beloved dogs. In her free time, she enjoys spending time with her family, listening to music, watching her favorite shows, and indulging in charcuterie. All right. Tonight's speaker topic, like we said, is Revelations, which is our hashtag for Dream Week 2026. Revelations in mental health, listening, leading, and healing together explores the moment of truth uncovered through mental health advocacy in San Antonio. This presentation reflects on how listening to lived experience reshape leadership, strengthen community trust, and reveal what it truly takes to sustain mental health work. Through challenges, resilience, and shared insight, it highlights how healing becomes possible when communities lead together. Ultimately, it reveals how collective care can transform both systems and lives. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Maria Hanigman.
My water is, I already feel my throat dry and I'm gonna talk. So it's such an honor to be up here. I feel very humbled to be up here. I know that it was a fluke that I got to be up here. I was given this opportunity by my executive director. He's getting ready to retire. So he asked me to come and do this because he felt like I could do it. So I feel I could do it as well. So I take this opportunity as a blessing, something I love life on a fast lane. I used to get on roller coasters. I really enjoyed that. So I feel like this is a roller coaster. It's just another experience that I could be a little bit scared, but a little bit excited to do. So I'm grateful to be part of this. I'm grateful that I get to be part of this with a lot of thoughtful leaders, strong, thoughtful leaders. And I recognize that there's a lot of heart in this community and that I get an opportunity to work in this community. Like when I started, I gave you all that synopsis that I was going to share, but it changed a little bit as I was doing my presentation and I was creating it. I wanted to focus a little bit on my story. We talked about how story shapes people. My story shaped me. My story shapes what type of leader I am. I once believed that leading had to be loud and forceful, that if you led, you had to be heard. And the journey I had has been very different. The power is in quiet strength. You can lead with both kindness and conviction. So let's start early in my life. When I was 14, I started volunteering. I helped sell candy at our religious education program. I remember my mom got us in there and she was like, okay, you're gonna sell candy and you're gonna give this to the kids after they get out of religious education. And I also helped teach a little bit. And when I started doing that, I felt this love for service. I liked helping people. I loved teaching people. And it continued on as I went to college. I went to St. Mary's University. Any Rattlers? No? So I went to St. Mary's University and I started working at the Service Learning Center. Part of my job working at the Service Learning Center was tutoring students. I was here, an 18-year-old, really nervous, coming from a very small town, Elsa, Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley. And I came to this big town and I needed to do something. I needed to help others. So I started tutoring and I would tutor kids with their multiplication tables. And I just found this like passion in that. And I really loved it. So that was the start of me helping others that became part of who I was, helping others. So growing up, I grew up in a small town. I let you all know that. And at 18, I came to St. Mary's University. I was very quiet, observant. I was so quiet that I didn't even win most quietest. That's how quiet I was. I couldn't even get the votes enough to get most quietest. But I was observant. I was silly. I would come up with these jokes and my friends would laugh. I was teased for being poor. I was very quiet as a mouse. I was misunderstood. My mom came from Mexico and kids would tease me for that. Spanish was my first language. And my dad was a migrant worker. So they didn't get an opportunity to graduate high school. So I graduated high school. That was already a success for our family because I graduated high school. I got accepted to Baylor University, but I chose to go to St. Mary's. So I graduated with my bachelor's and then I got my master's. And I was peer pressured to get my master's. Like you hear peer pressure, I was peer pressured to do good. All my friends were doing it. They were like, I'm getting my master's, are you? And I'm like, I'm actually gone far beyond what I'm supposed to do. So I guess I'll do it. I guess I'll take my GRE and I got accepted to the Marriage and Family Therapy program at St. Mary's University. So as I did that, I really enjoyed helping people. I was raised when I was a kid. I came in and I was still very quiet. I was raised to respect authority, raised not to give eye contact. You be submissive, you look down, you don't give eye contact because if you give eye contact, you're not listening. I was raised to be polite and be small. And that was something that I was always that girl in the corner, polite, small, but I was being very respectful. And that shaped me. I continued to be quiet, I continued to be observant, trying to get along with everyone. I didn't look like someone that would be in leadership. Like you would see me down the street, I don't look like your typical leader. And as I did my master's, I have to do clinical hours. And I remember as I was working in the clinic, as I started my master's program, as I was doing my practicum, I was gonna get ready to see clients. And the secretary that was, I don't want to call out names, sorry. So somebody that worked at the clinician office said, I don't know if she'll make it. She's a little meek. She's a little quiet, a little reserved. How is she going to do counseling? Actually, my meekness, my quietness made me more observant. Quiet was never emptiness. This here was not empty. Being quiet made me more aware. It made me care more. It gave a presence to me. I became an excellent therapist. I was excellent. That's one of the things I could say with confidence. I was great at what I did. Before you knew it, I had like 20 clients in my caseload. I was super overwhelmed, but I had 20 clients that asked to see me, that wanted to be seen by me, just because my best therapy sessions were when I was quiet and I just listened. I would reflect back to what they said and they solved their own problems. I was already empowering individuals without knowing what I was doing. Clients felt safe and they trusted me. So entering the nonprofit world, here I am. I started leading without a title. I started leading without knowing that I was leading. I started realizing that people would follow me, people would listen to me, people wanted to hear what I had to say. So my biggest thing was I was gentle with people and people were trusting me. They saw my gentleness not as weakness. We saw it as strength. So my realization was that quiet was never a flaw. It was a strength, just expressed differently. This became the foundation of the type of leader I am. So years later, lots of nonprofit work, being the boots on the ground. I working with individuals struggling with their mental health, working with the elderly. I was able to be there through their depression, help them with their ADLs, activities of daily living. I was able to work with youth in the streets that already had bad rap. And they would walk me to my car, I was pregnant, and they would walk me to the car, and I'd be like, what color do I need to use in your neighborhood? They'd be like, don't worry, miss, we got you. So I was able to go to houses that had just been raided because they were drug houses and provide services. I was able to offer mental health case management. I was able to help students in the schools that just needed that trusted adult. They didn't have anybody, and I was their trusted adult. So as I transitioned to NAMI 3 years ago, it was different. I was not doing the direct work anymore. It was an adjustment. And I always say an adjustment is always a room for growth. I like being uncomfortable. I like being scared. So as I started, I became an educator. I became an advocate, and I became a leader. I became someone that I needed to be an expert. Just because I worked for NAMI, that made me an expert, whether I liked it or not, whether I felt even day one, you start there, and some of you can see, some of my colleagues are here, and they just see you as an expert because you're part of a national organization. So I felt I had to prove myself. I felt like I need to speak about my degree, my experience, I've done this, I've done that. One of the things claim to fame, well, it's not claim to fame, but I was able to see an open heart. That's how curious I am all the time. I was able to see an open heart because of my first job was working with organ donation. And I was able to be part of the surgery because I'm like, me, I'll do it. I'm always like, hey, do you want to come in and experience that? Yeah, I'll do it. And I was able to see that. I was able to be there in the surgery room and get to experience a live heart pumping. And that's always something I hold dearly because that started invigorating me to always say yes to things that are kind of uncomfortable and scary. So the thing that changed my mindset, my revelation, was when a volunteer asked me, what is your story? I've never been asked that before. I've never been asked, what is your story? I was expecting, what are your credentials? What have you done before as your career? But this volunteer caught me so off guard. She asked me, what is your story? And you could tell she had a barrier around her. She was hesitant because, people had come and gone and she didn't want to get attached to me. And I see her now and she's like, you're still here. I'm like, yeah, I'm still here. You can get rid of me. So I was very honest. I'm a very honest person to a fault. I was very honest and I said, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what my story is because when I was a child, we didn't talk about our mental health. We were told, I still remember when I lost a coworker, my mom was like, wash your face and get to work. And get back to work because they need you. And she didn't mean out of malice. My mom is an exceptional woman, a compassionate woman, a caring woman. And my dad too, he was taught differently. He was taught to, you need to be strong and tough. You need to not show those emotions because your boss doesn't want to see that. They want you to just get the work done and get it done. That's it. So that shifted me. In grassroots work, people want to relate to you. They want to relate to you. They want to be like you. They want to understand you because they're about to expose themselves to you. They want to know they can trust you. So after a couple of months being there, being present, just listening, I called every single volunteer that I had in my list. It was about 60, right, Myrna? About 60 volunteers. I called every single one of them because at that time I was overseeing the education, support groups, outreach, overseeing everything directly. And I called all of them and I just listened to them. I just heard them, I spoke to them, I cried with them, I laughed with them. I remember being in a call for an hour and it was one of our leaders telling me her life story and making me laugh so hard. And I remember getting phone calls telling me when I would have a bad day, they would call me and they'd be like, "You're such a sunshine in my life." And just the phone call mattered so much to them. So what I realized, my response was still, I'm not sure yet, but I was discovering my story little by little. I was discovering that I did not need to arrive at NAMI fully formed or at any job. I didn't need to perform like or act like if I was the strongest person. The community needed me to be present and honest. That was my strength. Oh, I could be honest. That was my strength. The community wanted me to be myself. They wanted me to just be. And I realized that I could be strong and kind at the same time. I could lead without pretending. I could build trust without raising my voice. That quiet strength is essential in community work. I realized that that voice in my head and people telling me, "You're too soft, you're too weak, you're gonna get stepped all over." I realized that those are my strengths. I was never stepped all over. Look where I am now. People don't follow perfection. People follow people with weaknesses. People follow people that are struggling. People want you broken. People want you in whatever form that you come. And they follow authenticity. They want you to make space for their stories. They want to make sure that you're going to take time and pause what you're doing and listen to them. That's all people want. They want to be listened with kindness and genuineness. I would always tell people, if you don't have 5 minutes to listen to me, don't ask me how I'm doing, because then it means nothing. So my role in NAMI has changed. It went from leading one person to leading 14 people. So I oversee all the programs at NAMI Greater San Antonio. We're one of the largest in Texas. Actually, we're one of the best nationally. Executive director say that in his speech when he was presenting it to Doug, an award. So we are one of the largest, one of the most looked out organizations nationally. Our little affiliate. So not only do I work right next to 14 because I am a team member. I lead them, but I'm a team member with them. I walk alongside with them. Not only do I work with 14 team members, I get to work with a lot of volunteers, about 60 to 80 volunteers. And it's just an amazing experience. NAMI's been here 30 plus years, not because of our strategic plan, not because we have a fancy building, because we don't, not because of our logo or anything. NAMI's here because people trust NAMI. And grassroots leadership, that's what it takes. It has to be slow. It might have felt slow, Ms. Verna, because she's been with NAMI for 11 years, more than 11 years. It might have felt slow at times. It might have felt like people don't know who we are. We've been doing the work, but it's where we need to be right now. Be relational to people. Listen to people. We've earned it. We've earned it. All of us, like with our feet on the ground, working and being there for people, we've earned where we are now. Because people trusted us. We took time to listen. And the growth, staff grew from 12 to 36. And it wasn't an announcement, you weren't like, hey, guess what? We're gonna grow. No, it was built to grow that way. And we're being very smart and being very planning ahead and being very strategic on what we do. Because we don't wanna not be authentic, ever. We don't wanna be not authentic. So you can't demand trust from people. You can't just go and grab it and take it. You can't rush it. And you can't fake it because people could see right through you if you're faking something. Like you cannot, it's hard because sometimes with my ED, I have to hide my face because he can read my face. It's been 3 years and we've worked very closely together. So if I'm unhappy about something, it's like, I see your face. Let's talk after. So I go and talk to him like, why do you know what's going on in my head? He's like, your face. So I can't fake anything. I can't. So one of the stories that really proves how it takes a lot of trust for our volunteers, for our organization to continue being grassroots, even though we already are so big that it doesn't feel grassroots, is I had a couple come in one time. They called and their son was in the criminal justice system. They were worried about their son. They had taken family to family and they didn't know what to do. So they were recommended by their teacher and to be teachers, to lead their own class. And they didn't know you feel helpless when your own child is in the criminal justice system. You don't know, you're like, what do I do? There's nothing I could do right now. I'm helpless. So they took a class, they went to training, and they become leaders. Now they're helping other families that are in their journey. He's come out, and I think he's doing well. He's doing really well. He came to one of our general meetings, and we're trying to get him involved. They've taken a pause for a little bit because they're taking other classes. Now they feel so empowered that they're getting trained in so many different things at their church. So that's an example of how a family felt they could trust NAMI. And then there's another volunteer I wanted to talk about. She came in, we met her at the NAMI walk. She came to our table and nobody really knew what her diagnosis was. And she didn't share, and she was just like, you could tell she had a story in her. So she came and started volunteering with us, learned about NAMI. And she finally shared her story in one of our panels that we had for Pathways. And her story was so hard that she had a mental health crisis, that she had to leave the career that she was planning on being since she was a kid. Her parents didn't understand her. She was labeled with her diagnosis as bipolar. And there was nowhere else she could go. So she had to shift careers to do something that would pay the bills, but that wasn't her passion. So the more and more she came and we had her speak for us in public, and we would have her speak in classes. She was part of a lot of different panels for interviews. She felt more empowered. She felt more invigorated. She felt like, hey, I think I could go back to the career. I want to help others. So just a couple of months ago, I received a card from her and she thanked me, but she thanked our team because she didn't feel her diagnosis was all of her. It was just part of her. Her diagnosis empowered her. So now she's training to be a psychiatrist. She's training to help others in her same situation. And she's going back to the career that she wanted to be in. And she's working with an amazing psychiatrist that's her mentor. And all it did was we saw her as a whole person, not as part of a person. And she was able to continue her dream career. And another thing was partnerships. Community First is one of our partners. And they invited me to come and present. It was just one, I still remember that presentation. I told Jennifer, who invited us, she's the director of behavioral health, that I didn't want to do a presentation on a Friday. I was like, Fridays, you want to just catch up on work. And so I remember I told her, I just felt so tired. And I was like, oh, I have to do this presentation. very honest, I was like, I go in there and something just triggers in me and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do my best. I have to do it, might as well. And I remember her sharing her story and opening that window for her team. And then her team, there was hearts all over the comments. It was a Zoom one. And there was all these like, I feel that, I feel that. It was one of the best presentations I did. But it was also one of the best received presentations because once I got in there, I felt it and the people felt heard because their leader shared her story. So now, because of that trust and that being genuine, now we're able to teach parents, they trusted us with their members. So now we teach parents how to take care of their children, parents and caregivers that have mental health conditions, 18 and under, 21 and under. So now we're able to help parents be able to educate their kids, be able to teach their kids, be able to help their kids. And that's one of the most amazing things because this partner trusted us. This partner trusted to have their staff trained to teach this. This partner trusted us with their members. You know how protective people are with their members, right? They trusted us. So that was a relationship that was built. So not only does trust have to be outside of the organization, it also has to be within the organization. The moment that we started growing was when our culture changed. The same trust must exist inside the organization. Your staff has to trust you. Your staff has to know that you have their best interests at heart because they're the ones hearing the stories. They're the ones struggling and listening to all the hardships of families. They're the ones taking those phone calls. The community work happens through people that feel heard, that feel supported, and that feel cared for. So burnout is a reality. We've all felt it. I know we came back from our 2-week break and we were like, we felt really relaxed. But then day one, it starts back up again, right? The stories that people are hearing are pretty heavy. Even when it's pre-crisis, in the schools, we hear the stories. There's an endless need. Like I know I have to get out of vacation and do interviews 2 of the days. And I didn't, for a moment, I didn't flinch and say, I'm on vacation. For a moment, I felt like I want to do something to help people and to let my community in Spanish understand also, because I do the Spanish interviews. Like I felt like I was doing something. I felt at home in my pajamas and just kind of listening to the news and listening to everything. People leave organizations when they feel unseen. And even though I'm only overseeing a little part of the organization, 1/3, I didn't calculate, but it's 1/3 of the organization. I want all my staff to feel seen. I want all the people that work, that put their hearts, that are passionate. If you come to our office, you're gonna feel like the passion, it like permeates like through the windows and the doors, and so you feel all the passion. So my leadership style, I have an open door policy. Everybody laughs because they all want ticket. They want me to start putting tickets outside my door so they could get a ticket to come and see me, because I give people time. I give my team space. Even if it's 5 minutes, I put the report down. I put the email down. I put the phone down. I try to listen beyond the work walls. We try to be leaders. I want to make sure that my team also feels that they need to do that with their team members. That I try to make sure I listen to what's going on at home. What's hurting them? What's stressing them out? What's something that they're holding dear in their hearts? I give them that space to listen. Why this matters? This matters because those minutes can keep someone going. Just those minutes. You know why I took the job at NAMI? I left my other organization because my boss took 2 minutes to call me and check in and say, do you still want this job? It took only 2 minutes. for him to call me and say, like, keep offering me the job because he had to keep offering me this job. And that meant a lot to me, so I said yes. It takes 5 minutes of full attention. It takes an ICU. Why it matters, those minutes keep going, it's quiet strength sustains teams. It builds trust. It makes change last. You wanna make sure that the vessels are filled for the team that's going out there to help our community. So how could we help our community on empty vessels? That's what we teach our families. That's what we tell our families, put your mask on first before you're able to help anybody else. But how could we not do that for our own team members? So what I've learned lessons from people, not books. Yeah, I had my DSM-4 on my desk constantly when I was going to school. But I always tell my coworker, the 2 years I've worked with you, I've learned the most about mental health diagnosis, about what somebody struggles with, what somebody goes through. Because I ask so many questions. Poor guy, I ask him so many questions, and he answers. I learned that kindness isn't a weakness. No, I'll be soft. I like being soft in many other ways. I don't mind being soft. It takes a lot of courage to be kind when things are tough. I'm not saying I always have a smile on my face. I'm not saying that. But sometimes it's hard, but I still have to come in and smile. I still have to come in and listen to my staff. I still have to come in and listen to our volunteers. But it does take a lot of courage to not be spiteful, to not be wanting to hurt someone or not wanting to be rude. It takes a lot of courage. Leadership is not controlling. It's listening, it's making space, it's letting others step forward. People are not projects. It's not a project, a pet project that you need to like invest in and, they grow. People are not problems. People are partners. People are partners you want to work with. I love going to work, honestly. Like, I love my time off, but I love going to work. My husband says, you always talk about work. But I take that as a compliment because he also knows that I feel safe at work, that I feel heard at work, that I have a support system at work. My personal truth is, I thought I had to change to be a leader. I thought I had to be louder, tougher, different. I don't. I just have to have heart. My quiet, my gentleness, and my attentiveness is a strength. It's my superpower. I led by showing up. I listened. I was consistent, and that is enough. Diversity in leadership, some people have the big energy. They come in with a smile. Some people are visionaries. Some people are planners. Some people have this presence about them. All of that matters because we all come, there's many different types of leaders here, right? All of it matters. We all could be our own individual selves. We all don't have to be a cookie cutter type of leader. Mm-hmm. And the reason I bring that up is because that's when NAMI shifted. When leadership shifted. When we started seeing that people were leaving, that people were burned out. Like something had to shift. And it's been amazing, and ever since it shifted, there's been a lot of growth. My hope for San Antonio is very resilient. It's a caring community. Neighbors, I see neighbors helping neighbors. I always think of the Mr. Rogers quote, always look for the helpers. And I just see, I choose to see that. I don't watch the news that often. I don't want to. So I choose to just see the kids doing service, the families that are helping each other, our volunteers that are constantly supporting each other, that are just kind of call in and they wanna know, what can I do to help? People organizing and showing up. What I see that has been the difference is leaders choosing kindness. I see that all the people that are asking us to come do presentations for them, for their organization, because they care about their employees' mental health, has been phenomenal. Like, we have a list of organizations from big companies, banks, theme parks, like all these organizations are like, please come help my team. Hotels that feel that pressure, that they have to have everything perfect, have asked us to come and educate their community. Caring for the people who do the work is also my hope, something that I see people doing here in San Antonio. Organizations are doing this. Asking, how are you? And meaning it. So I challenge you, don't ask, how are you? You're not gonna take time to actually listen. I always say, I'd rather not be asked. If you can't listen, if you can't take the time to hear me, don't ask me. I'm gonna open up. And my personal hope is that I keep growing along with the organization, that I keep learning along with whoever comes in, and I never lose my softness. Kindness is power, and doing this has kind of helped me embrace that. My invitation is, you don't have to harden to lead. You don't have to become someone else. Be yourself. Your way of caring is enough. If you can only care a little bit, it's okay. You could care a lot, and it's okay. We have different types of people at our work. Some people, man, you could go talk to them and they give you a tissue, candy, snacks. And then there's some people that could just be like, it's gonna be okay, and have a prayer with you. There's some people that could just give you a side hug, or that tell you it's okay. I feel this city is built by people who choose to care. That's why I chose this as my home. After leaving the valley, it's been my home for 25 years. This is where our real strength lives, that this city chooses to care. So I see that direction going with organizations where it's kind leadership. And that's why I feel why NAMI has been successful and why we hope to go on and on beyond 30 plus years. We're at 41. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I think I'll ask you something. How important is this work? As an educator myself, as just like your husband, we pour into our students every day. So the work that you guys are doing, thank you so much. There's a lot of people walking around here with unhealed trauma. So the work that you're doing, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys give it up again for Maria. Test. There we go. All right. Thank you again, Maria. All right, guys, just like I tell my students, track the speaker. I know that we are all on our cell phones, we live in it, right? But if it's not important and it's not an emergency, let's track our speakers. Let's be present, okay? Thank you guys so much. All right, I want to introduce our next speaker tonight. Woo! Francisco Martinez. He's another Community First Health Plan honoree who's 30 over 30. Francisco Martinez is the 7th president and CEO of Project Quest, a nationally recognized workforce development organization based here in San Antonio. It was founded in 1992, and Quest was created through a community-driven effort to support displaced workers, and today continues to equip underemployed and unemployed adults with training that leads to high demand, family-sustaining careers. With a proven track record validated by independent research, Quest has transformed thousands of lives while generating billions in wage gains and a strong return on investment for the region. As president and CEO, Francisco oversees all facets of the organization, including the service delivery, community engagement, financial health, contractual commitments, and organizational culture. He works closely with the board of directors to provide strategic leadership that strengthens Quest's impact and ensures its mission of creating pathways out of poverty remains its central focus. A first-generation college graduate and son of immigrants, Francisco embodies the transformative power of education. He brings over 25 years of experience spanning public policy, local government, education, corporate social responsibility, and nonprofit leadership, always committed to expanding opportunity and equity. Francisco holds a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from the University of California, San Diego, and a Master's of Public Administration from California State University in Los Angeles. He and his wife are the proud parents of 2 daughters, and he embraces his role as a girl dad. You guys give it up for our next speaker, Francisco Martinez.
Thanks so much. I think I need you to go with me everywhere I go. Just pump me up, get the crowd ready for me. You'll probably get me more excited than I am, because I am the guy with a PowerPoint and a clicker. And I will open up for our last speaker, who I'm sure will impress you guys and share his knowledge. And thank you for our first speaker for sharing her. So like it was said, my name is Francisco Martinez. I'm the president and CEO of Project Quest, and I'm here with great pride representing an organization that is 33 years old, 56 staff, and who works to service over 2,500 individuals every year. Over the lifespan of 33 years, we serviced over 14,000 folks. What matters to us is that it's our people, our community, and our story is our community. Project Quest, we believe that economic justice is social justice. 3 pillars that carry our work is hope, dignity, and empowerment. At the end of the day, if we do not provide you the opportunity for you to feel hope, to feel dignity, and to feel empowered, we have failed you. But like all of us, the work that we do here today individually, we all have a story. And our story is a San Antonio story. Up until 1989, there was about 1,200 predominantly women of color who called the Levi Strauss factory their workplace. They felt secure, safe, went home for the holidays like we just went, and came back in the new year of 1990 to find out that the company was closing down. The jobs were leaving us. They felt like they had been ripped from their normal lives. Granted, it's not a white-collar job, it's not an office job. It is still a job that paid by them dignity and provided for their families. So the community does what community does, is gather, come together, ask for justice. And that is the story of Project Quest. The story of Project Quest is a San Antonio story. Because what happens, a coalition led by Cops Metro of church people, people who wanted to provide service to others, people who have given their lives of service, helped bring people together that today, and I'll give you the list of the people who came together. Cops Metro brought together Charles Cheever, Broadway King, Tom Frost, Band, business, local members. This young man here you see in the middle was a newly elected mayor, Wolf. Brought together and didn't ask, they demanded that something be done to help the community rise from something that had happened to them. And guess what? Will continue to happen, and they weren't wrong, because about 10 years later, base realignment, Kelly Air Force Base went away. Thousands of jobs lost. And so what they asked for is economic development for all. They did not want a handout. They did not want money being given to companies. They wanted community empowerment, and that came in the way of the model that we talked about here today, Project Quest. Project Quest is a fancy word is a sectoral. It's too much. Ultimately, it's a program that takes you, gives you your hand, and says, let's walk together. Let's walk together to a better life. Let's walk together for an opportunity for you and your family. And the way we do that is a wraparound model that I won't get into the details, but it takes, like what she just shared with us with Nami, it looks at you, and it sees your assets, it sees what you are and what you can be, not what you don't have. It says, here's what you come to the table with. We will take that, we will wrap it, we will give you, we will support you. We're gonna help you get to the path of a better life, not only for you, but for your family. So that is the model that existed in 1992 when it was founded, and it still exists today. Going back to the speaker before us, we believe in mental health. So we're a level 1 trauma certified organization. We have a social worker because we too have to adapt like our community. We have to be able to provide support services they need. So we will support individuals, adults, get an education and training in 3 different spaces. Healthcare, anywhere from a phlebotomist, patient care tech, all the way to registered nurse, trades and manufacturing, CDL worker, culinary arts, warehouse, welding, carpentry, plumbing, also information technology, cybersecurity, data science. But what way we do it is, we don't do the training ourselves. We provide resources to you. We say, here's the opportunities available to you. Where do you want to go? We're going to go together. We will hold your hand because we believe that we don't look down on people unless we're lifting them up. We provide that support service to get you through the process. And it's not a one and done. It's not a here's a check, go get it. It's here's a check, we're going to go together. We're going to see you through this. We're only going to see you through the process of training. We're going to get you that job. Here's what we've done. Our legacy, remember, started in 1990 out of Calamity. We continue to grow at a good pace. We're at about 1,000 people a year, which is good for a nonprofit. And then we have what I call our second birth during the pandemic. During that pandemic, we saw our community once again suffer at the hands of bigger forces, in this case, a pandemic, that displaced a lot of these folks. A lot of the folks that are restaurants, our hotels, our communities. So we, again, answered the call of the community and increased to the size of what we're at right now. We're on track to service about 2,800 individuals a year, right? So we are truly, we say this, and I tell folks, is we as an organization have a moral compass. Our moral compass is of those individuals that founded us in 1990, 1992, because if you remember, these were predominantly older people who already were gonna have a life. And they knew that it wasn't about them, but it was the people about them afterwards, the next generation. And here we are 33 years later, continuing to do together. Nothing matters unless we're creating change. And this is the change we speak about, and this is the change we've been doing for 33 years. It's just a sample of the last 4 years. This is what you're seeing is what we've done in 4 years, the number of people we've placed in jobs, more importantly, the impact we're making on those people's lives individually. Getting about $24 an hour. And the impact here is hard to see is the wage increase, 206% wage increase. The average person comes to Quest earning about $14,000 a year, 12 months in a year, about $1,200 a year they're earning. They leave us about $46,000 a year. That is life-changing. But here's why we're here today. Here's why Community First Health Plan believes in us. Here's why we're here talking at treatment. It's who we're doing it for that matters the most. It's women of color, over the age of 30, parents, single parents living in poverty. If you help a woman, we lift the family. Especially the women that come to us and who have someone looking down at them or up at them. And the women and the participants are saying, I need more because they need more. My family needs more. So we're very proud of the fact that we are in communities that need us. We're on the southwest side of San Antonio off of Quintana Road. We service the entire city, but we're home to where we belong. For many years, we're at the convent of Our Lady of Lake University, the west side, where we belong. At the individual level, we help individuals, we help change lives. At the community level, something we're very proud of is we've been evaluated, researched, and we can document the impact that we've had in our region. Over the last 30 years, we've done a $4 billion impact to our community. We can document the fact that you give us $1 and we'll turn it back into $27 into the community. How do we measure that? How much more money you make, how much more money you spend, and then how much money you're saving to the community through government benefits that you no longer need. Because ultimately, we want to lift people out of poverty, be self-sufficient, independent, and not depend on services. There was a time and place, you will need that, we all need that. I was a beneficiary of public benefits. But ultimately, what we want is independence, self-sufficiency. Too fast. We'll edit that. Something we are also proud of is the fact that San Antonio is home to one of the country's most reviewed and evaluated workforce sectoral program. We have been the subject of a 14-year randomized controlled trial. And a randomized controlled trial is essentially the reason why you're taking medication, an aspirin or an Advil, is that they've done a study where some people get the medication and some people do not. And it's been scientifically proven that the people that got their medication, headache really went away, not just a sugar pill. So this is a 14-year study that's been going on since 2004, 2006, where academic individuals study our participants every so often. And this is the most recent one that was published 2 years ago, and tracking the individuals, and the separation you see in the numbers in green charts is the difference of the people that make more money that went through our program versus the people that did not go through our program. So, I'm the president and CEO of the nonprofit. This is what I do. I tell our story. It's easier for me to do that because this is what I do. It's something I love, something I believe in, something that I care for because it's really responsible for not only myself, but the people that would do the work, but it speaks to me because of who I am. Son of immigrants, first generation to go to school, father now, right? But ultimately, that's what I'm telling you. What I brought here today and hope it plays is a story of someone else telling their perspective. This is something we just recorded in December. We honor people once a year, our participants become questers. So this is someone who sat down in front of a camera to tell a story, and I'm hoping it'll play so you guys can take it in.
Audio. Audio. Yeah, keep going. Let it play now, in case.
Statistics, because I should not be sitting here. We've actually changed a map. We changed a formula. My mother, she was a bartender. There was times that she didn't come home for a couple of days, even a week or two at a time. I learned at a very young age that I had to survive. This judge said, "You're really smart and you like to skip school." So then usually from then on, I just, worked. I worked as a waitress at Benny's and I fell in love with someone who I worked with. And so we have 2 older children. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And so I chose to raise them by myself. And that's what I did. It was really hard. And I'll never forget my childhood friend, Melissa. She went through Project Quest herself. And she became a nurse. She said, "Michelle, you're going to be a really good nurse." I told her, "Yeah, but girls like me don't become nurses." And no, but there's this, this great place called Project Quest. I think it was, always there, like always in my mind, that I wanted to be a nurse. I went to St. Philip's, and then they told me, you have a GED, you have to get an associate degree in nursing first. We did that for 2 years. I applied at SAC, and I remember getting my letter, and I remember it saying, out of 830 people, you're one of the candidates that we are taking on. And so some of the girls there, I'm like, can you take a photo of your book, because really I'm winging it. And so they were talking about Project Quest, and I remember Melissa told me, and I said, oh my gosh, there's a Project Quest, I forgot Project Quest. Maria called me, she says, okay, I'm gonna take you on. I struggled, I couldn't work full time as much anymore. And I remember, going to Maria and telling her, I don't know if I could do this. I mean, my bills are stacking up. My life is being turned on. I have to work. I have to take care of the boys. And she said, I'll take care of this bill. We'll take care of the rent this month too, Michelle. And we'll take care of the water. They paid for my licensure. They paid my first stethoscope that I still have. I carry with me. They just paid for everything. Like, everything would be successful. When I graduated, I remember thinking, I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse. I'm now a family nurse practitioner. I am now able to work in a pain clinic. I feel a lot of gratification because I'm helping people in our community to go and live their lives.
Looking back, what would you tell that young woman, knowing what you know now?
I think I would tell her everything. And there is a really good organization that really cares. And they're going to give you a hand. And I want you to put yours in it. Because they're going to change your whole legacy.
So that's who we are. We are an organization that tells people that look like us, yes, you can. We are an organization that tells people who have someone else who told them maybe they can't, that you can. And our organization doesn't belong to me. Like I tell people, it's a relay race. I've received the baton, and my job is to make sure that the person after me gets the organization in a better place. But at the end of the day, the people who fought for the creation of Project Quest 35 years ago were ordinary people asking for extraordinary things. And Project Quest, it belongs to the residents in San Antonio, and we are here to continue to serve the residents in San Antonio. And it's an honor to be here today to share with you what Project Quest is. If you didn't know that this is yours, know that we're here for you, your family, your friends, your neighbors. Because we all have those people who know that they want to do more, just don't know how. And as an organization, our commitment is to make sure that we walk with you. And I get emotional when I see this because I know Michelle. I know her story. I know the fact that she's now a doctor's student at the QT Health Science Center. And I know that she's going through some family things. I know Maria. Our organization was started on July 15th, 1992. About 2 years later, Maria started the organization, and she's still with us. So that speaks to the work that we do. Again, thank you so much for being here tonight. And I'll open myself up to questions from the MC, if any questions at all. But there's a QR code that should go to our website. And thank you once again for hosting us and having us here.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for our speaker? Anyone like to share anything? I know I'm an empath, so that story was very impactful.
Yeah.
All right, we have one question here.
Thank you, and thank you so much for coming to do this. I've been to some events where talk about Project Quest and all that, but I don't think I've experienced it like this before, and hearing it from you makes a big difference, you know, it's a life that is impacted. So thank you guys for everything. When it comes to the different aspects that you guys offer, I see is it healthcare, you know, all the other areas. If there are things outside of that category, are there opportunities for them to bring it up and say, hey, this is what I would like to consider, you know, because, you know, whatever it might be.
So the question is, can we support careers that we don't currently have on our list? And so I'll give you the long and short answer. The long answer is ultimately my job is to set you up for success. My job is to create a pathway to a career. And the way we work is we work with our local workforce board that identifies careers that have high demand, high paying jobs that will lead to a pathway. So I can get you in as a CDL license, drive a CDL truck, but then ultimately you might want to be an owner operator. I can get you in as a registered nurse to have a job as a nurse, but ultimately you can work out the family nurse practitioner. What I can't do, and the careers that I don't support are those that are not necessarily career pathways or high demand, high paying jobs. Right? We want to make sure that we set them up for those careers that will lead them to those pathways. There are a lot of careers that are amazing careers, but they don't meet the criteria of high paying, in demand careers for our region, right? Case in point, we're on the Riverwalk, right? We do not support 90% of these careers on the Riverwalk. However, we do support culinary arts because that requires education, training, and a certificate, not other careers that perhaps we see on a daily basis. So the answer to your question is, we review them on a regular basis. In fact, we take careers off as things change around here, knowing that, hey, if I'm committing to you, I want to make sure that ultimately my commitment to you is that when you come out, there's somewhere for you to go. Unfortunately, a lot of places just put you in a seat and you don't know where you're going afterwards. So our commitment is to the employment. So the answer to the question is we always evaluate careers. If it meets the criteria of in-demand, high-paying job, we would definitely consider it. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name's Oscar. I was curious, well, I have two questions. One, is it just for City of San Antonio residents? And then the second question, what is y'all's graduation rate or success rate?
Perfect. It's not a timely question, but I appreciate it. The question was, is it only for City of San Antonio residents? And second, what is your graduation placement rate? So we are predominantly funded by the City of San Antonio through two different funding sources, but as a nonprofit, we secure our own funding. So I can tell you that I have funding from the city, the county, the state, federal government, and about a half a dozen other funding sources, as well as luncheon, like a nonprofit. We sell tables for gals and all that good stuff. So my commitment that whenever a participant comes in, our commitment is that I can have staff, lights, rent, utility to support you, but then also can help support your tuition and any emergency support services you need. So I have to look at my funding sources. If you're not in the City of San Antonio, you'll have to look at less funding sources. But then Oscar, I will commit to you for your life and your journey. Your journey may be a 6-week program or maybe 2.5-year program. I have to have funding to support you throughout the process. So the bulk of it is the city. But again, we also have county funding, state funding, federal government, and several other foundations. One of our funders, in fact, is Community First Health Friends, right? So we make sure we get all these different funding sources to make the goal, and make sure we have the operations to support you. And your other question was?
Oh, what was the success rate, the graduation rate, or the completion rate?
So we measure success in 3 different ways. Persistency rate means you persist, you continue. You are at about an 80% persistency rate, meaning we do not let you go. Our placement wage is about 80 to 90%. And I say a range because it all depends on career trend, right? And then I saw our placement rate, right? We do not see success unless it's a life-changing wage, right? You see our average, but there are folks that are making a lot more, right? But if you're not making, we're not placing you into jobs that are at least $15 or above, and our average is 23. If I'm not taking you from 15 to 46 or higher, then I really have to look at which. If I'm taking you from a $14 an hour job to a $15 an hour job, right? My goal is to change your life immediately, but then more importantly, set you up for other things. And again, we're also talking about social determinants of health, right? I'm putting you in a job with benefits, putting you in a job hopefully with 401k, retirement, access to EAP, mental health services, right? So those are really the jobs we want to make sure we place you. Healthcare is our biggest one. Trades and manufacturing is the second one. IT is the third one as far as categories, but within those categories, there's a 6-week PCT, patient care training program that we can put you in, hybrid, virtual, and get you a job that makes you right at 15. But if I do it right with a big employer like Methodist, they're gonna give you tuition reimbursement to continue on the program. They are owned by the same company that owns Galen. They're gonna put you in the Galen RN program for free. So again, my goal is to get you to that family lease practitioner if you want it. If not, a job that provides you opportunities today. Any other questions? No? Thank you so much.
Francisco Martinez, President and CEO of Project Quest. Thank you so much. All right, just a reminder, our happy hour starts on Wednesday. Now, you're welcome to stay here and have some happy hour, but for Wednesday is when our speaker series happy hour will begin. All right. Our next speaker, I have a personal story for our next speaker. Before the pandemic, in 2011, my brother was shot and killed here in San Antonio. And it was right in that cusp, right before the National Night Out. And so we wanted to do a community initiative. And I called on our next speaker, Daryl, and he was just more than happy to come out, park his food truck, and he served the community and helped raise awareness for gun violence in our city. So I want to just share that personal story that I've seen him from the beginning to where he is now, and I am so very proud of him. All right, Daryl Smith. He's from college business project to a multi-location food and beverage brand. Daryl Smith, also known as Boss Man Daryl, is the co-founder of Wing It and Sip It Daiquiris to Go. If you haven't heard about it or haven't tried it, you need to. A veteran entrepreneur, he shares real-world lessons on hustle, leadership, and turning ideas into income. I want to welcome Daryl Bossman Smith. Y'all give it up. Our next speaker.
Thank you for that great introduction. And real quick, I just want to highlight my guy Francisco. Real quick story, not quick story, but fun fact. He's my classmate in LSA 49. So great stuff with what he's doing with Project Quest. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. All right, like she said, I am Boss Man Daryl. Good evening. How y'all doing?
Good evening.
I'm not gonna keep y'all too long. I know it's a Houston game. I'm a Houston fan, so I got it. All right, so first off, I just want to say thank you to Dream Week for everything y'all doing in San Antonio. Creating a space for stories like mine, right? This doesn't feel like a speaking engagement. It's more like a conversation, right? I'm Daryl Smith, like she said. I am the co-founder of Wing It and Sip It here in San Antonio, Texas. Shout out to that. I might see a couple loyalty customers in the room. Thank you for your patronage. 16 plus locations and growing.
Nice.
But let me ask y'all something. How many of y'all have had a dream but no clear roadmap? Anybody? Anybody had a dream, but okay, see? But neither did I, right? Neither did I. It didn't start, and I didn't start with investors. I didn't start with a business plan that made college class projects in my entrepreneurship class at Texas Southern University. I started with a vision for a wing spot and just enough audacity to believe I could figure it out, right? That's where my first revelation came in. The dream will expose you real quick. Everybody talks about chasing dreams. Nobody talks about what dreams pull out of you. You see, I bought my first food truck on Craigslist. Let me tell y'all a story. I was an ambitious young man in Texas A&M University, and I was obsessed with wanting to have a food truck, right? And I remember scouring Craigslist at the time. It wasn't a marketplace like that. And I found an old Honduran taco truck on Craigslist. Now this thing was bad. It had, walk with me. It had, imagine a step van, had nothing but pupusas, pictures all around it, right? Man, I was in love. I remember I would drive on the other side of town in Houston just to get a glimpse of it. I ain't had no money, but I had a dream, right? So I remember going back and forth. And I remember negotiating with the guy. I'm like, man, he knew I was hungry. I kept going back. I was like, that's my truck. I spoke it, right? I said, that's my truck. And he saw something in me because he was like, I want this price, but this guy wanted something. So I'm willing to negotiate a price so you can pay a monthly payment, right? And I remember when I first got it, I remember going back to Texas Southern. Now imagine young black kid driving a taco truck back to Third Ward, Houston, right? So I remember going back, I was so excited, and seeing one of my classmates passing by, and he was like, okay, I see you. I said, you see me, you see me, you see me, right? And that's where it started. Now, like I said, I was a waiter all my life and all my college life, saving money in my little tip jar, and I put a shoe box in my Nike box under my bed with my tips, right? And that was my first down payment on my truck. And inspired by my fraternity, shout out to Kappa Alpha Psi, I know the bros, they looking. I painted it candy red, right? I had it, you gotta see me coming. So I painted it candy red and I called it Wing Express. And that was my first business. Now, I made mistakes that you couldn't put on Instagram, right? And here's the truth. The dream doesn't reveal success, first it reveals you, right? It reveals your discipline, your patience, your ego, your fear. I had partnerships that didn't work, moments where quitting made logical sense, moments where people questioned me, and moments where I questioned me, right? But every setback showed me something important. I wasn't failing, I was being trained. San Antonio taught me that early. The city doesn't hand you anything, right? I mean, some of my business owners can contest to that. San Antonio is not gonna give you anything. But if you're consistent, if you show up, if you respect the grind, it'll meet you halfway. Now, resilience is a skill, not a feeling. People think resilience is motivation. It's not. Resilience is repetition. It's showing up when the hype is gone, when the lights don't hit, right? When the money is tight, when nobody's clapping. Now, I moved back to San Antonio because I needed some discipline. So I went to the reserves. I went to Air Force, right? I joined the military reserves, not because it was glamorous, but because I needed structure. I needed discipline. I needed. Now coming from college, I need a little bit of that. I need all of that, right? But that would mold me, right? That discipline followed me into my business. Opening stores, managing teams, handling payroll, inventory, customer service, sometimes all in the same day. And here's another revelation. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your systems. San Antonio entrepreneurs understand this. The city is full of grinders, right? People building brick by brick, truck by truck, shift by shift. Resilience isn't loud. It's quiet. It's consistent. And it compounds, right? Leadership is responsibility. At some point, the dream stopped being about me. It became about people. People I hired, people who demanded a paycheck, they relied on it, people who saw themselves in my story and thought, if he can do it, maybe I can too. Let me tell you another story. So after my tenure, after coming back to San Antonio, I was on a little speaking kind of run. I never forget, I spoke in my alma mater. I went to Wagner High School out here. From there, when they first built Split Jesse, y'all know about San Antonio. And they asked me to come speak at a career day. Now, this is my first event, right? Coming out of college, coming with a little name, you could say, from Houston, right? And I spoke at a career day and told my story. I told them what I'm telling you now, a little more deeper. And it was for a bunch of students. Can't remember what type of class it was. It was a bunch of students at Wagner. And I never forget the impact that I made. Well, at that point, I didn't know it was an impact, right? Walk with me with it. And years later, I was doing a catering event with my food truck at San Antonio ISD, at the headquarters building. And this was years later. And it was some other food trucks along with myself. And I never forget, it was a Jamaican truck. And a young man had stopped me as I was throwing the trash away. And he said, hey, I was one of those kids in the crowd when you spoke at Wagner. And you inspired me to start my own food truck. That hit me, man. It hit a little different, right? That's when leadership hit me different. Leadership isn't a title. It's not a position. It's a responsibility. Your dream doesn't help somebody else. If your dream doesn't help someone else, it's just a hobby. So San Antonio is where families got fed. Young people got opportunities. Local vendors got supported. Communities got reinvested into. I didn't just build something in this city. This city built me. Now, Dream Week's theme this year is revelations, right? And my biggest revelation, success isn't the storefront. It's not the number of locations, though we have a lot, and counting. It's not the headline, but the success is being able to turn around and say, because I kept going, someone else believed they could too. That's impact. But let me close with this. Ask yourself one question tonight. What am I waiting on permission to do? Because I'm here to tell you, this is it. This is your permission slip right here, right? start ugly, stay consistent, serve people, and understand this. Your revelation doesn't show up when you think about it. It shows up when you move. Now I'm gonna take you out to church real quick. Revelations 3:8 says, and can I be for my people? See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. Guys, if God opened it, don't second guess it. Walk through it. Boss been there.
All right, mic drop. And we need our Black and brown entrepreneurs like Daryl, those stories that you share and pouring back into our communities are what we need. So Revelations is a wonderful hashtag. Make sure you hashtag that for Dream Week. Our Dream Week series will be here. Our Dream Week speaker series will be here at Hard Rock. So make sure that you guys check our dreamweek.org website for a list of all the events in and around San Antonio, and try to make sure you share as many as possible, because we want to continue to make this grow as much. We want people coming in from San Antonio from all areas, traveling here to the largest march in the nation and to the Dream Week events. All right, thank you guys all so much for coming out tonight. All right, and thank you again for our speakers. All right, and you guys have a good night and safe drive home.
Great job.
Okay, so then you'll be back on.
I would just be very, I would just.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, then you'll know what to do, yeah, because you'll probably be in your own for 7. I'm the only one from the team, that's why I signed up. Okay, it's not enough. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and, I'll send it all to the people, but I just want some.
May I have some information? I know you guys are